Well, I want to know your guys' familiarity with the X-Men as kind of a franchise. I mean, some people started with the film, some people started with the comics. I want to know where both of you guys started with these characters, pretty much.
You want to go first, Angel?
Yeah, sure. I could go first. For me, it was like a combination of both. So I was exposed to the movies first. So those X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman, James Marsden, all those characters with the black leather suits, and also the animated series. So I was lucky to have both, um, as all of us did. And yeah, they were just amazing. I wasn't introduced into the comics until later on when I met Julius, and he was talking to me about Astonishing X-Men and stuff like that, and how they've had incredible runs throughout the years from different writers. So when I started reading the comics, I was like, wow, I really see these characters for what they really are. That those comics, those stories, they hold strong political weight and also just showcase beautiful relationships between all the characters. Their powers are just mind blowing. And yeah, I just love how each character really can kind of carry the team on their own, not just as leaders, but thematically and narratively. Love the X Men. And also recently, X Men 97 has kind of ruined all
Oh,
the movies
shit.
for me, which is crazy because the show was out of this world. It was amazing. So
So good.
I've loved my journey with the X Men because I feel like my love for them has only grown as I've seen um, their portrayals closer to the source material through different kinds of media.
I
Oh,
agree.
amazing. How about you, Daniel?
Well, for me, it was the comics first, and then the show came out. I mean, I was born in '85, so like the first, I was there when they wrote it. I was in the room. No, I'm just
You were
kidding,
the
but it was
inspiration.
I was the outcast. They're like, hey, let's make a freak superhero.
Which one?
But
Toad. There we go.
oh man, yeah, exactly. Same powers and everything too, same cadence, everything. No, but the yeah, the I started with the comics, and then I mean, even the first animated X-Men I saw was the Kitty Pryde pilot that they had. That was before the X-Men show came out, the one we all know in the '90s, and then the extension, now. But it was comics first, and like Angel said, the runs were crazy. I think the first run I read was actually the Claremont run,
Oh
and
yeah,
Brian, the Uncanny X-Men, and that was the
yeah.
first one I ever read. And then after that, you know, uh, the show came out, and then I got into, like, the X-Men annuals and all these other stuff. And then, like Angel said, the movies have carried it so well. Hugh Jackman is insanely amazing. I would
Yeah.
even argue that X-Men is now more popular. This is gonna put Angel's panties in a bunch, but I think X-Men is more popular than Spider-Man at this point.
Really? You think
Ooh.
so?
You know? No, I don't know. I'm
No
saying
way.
nowadays with 97, I feel like a lot of people saw the Across the Spider-Verse movie, the Spider-Verse movies, which were insanely amazing.
What
But
shirt do
I
you
don't
have on
think
right now?
Sony's really.
It's
I don't
Spider-Man
have a
related,
shirt on.
right?
Hide
Don't
it.
ever tell me
And you
the
know what's
X-Men are
so
more
funny?
popular.
You know what's so funny is I was about to bring up the Sony movies. I was,
No, don't do
I was
that.
about to bring up the Venom movies but I was gonna say they're not really doing anything for Spider-Man. They're not doing shit. But like then you have 97. Like I have people that aren't into comics asking me about X-Men 97. I haven't had people that weren't into comics asking me about the Spider-Verse movies, really. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody I know that would ask me about Spider-Verse did ask me about Spider-Verse, but like people that I didn't expect are like, dude, you watched the 97 one? And I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Of course I did. You know what I mean? And but it's like people that I don't expect are now talking about X-Men, where I haven't really had that, at least recently. At least recently. I'm not saying overall. I think, obviously the most popular characters, superhero characters, are Superman, Batman and Spider-Man, but I think X-Men as a group is they're kind of getting up there. You know what I mean?
To be
I
fair,
think they're
I
getting
think
up there.
to push against that a little bit, I think one of the number one things people are asking for since X-Men 97 has come out is a show about Spider-Man from 98 in that world. Like
That would be sick.
that's what, like, when people are freaking out about the cameos in that show, seeing that version of Spider-Man again is kind of mind-blowing. But like there was a push for 98. I don't think they're doing it now because they're doing the Friendly
They're not.
Neighborhood show, which I
Right.
understand to a
But
certain
what's
level, but there is that call for it.
For sure, but my point, and not really a rebuttal against it, but just to add more context to that. But
Hmm.
even that is because of 97. It wasn't because Venom came out that we're like, oh, let's get a reboot of Spider-Man. No, we're like, we saw what happened with 97 X-Men, and then we're like, dude, the people that know about Spider-Man are like, wait, do that with Spider-Man right now. Do it right now. You know what I mean?
Who are the
But
people who know about Spider-Man?
again, that's
I think it's most people.
huh?
Most,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think
I
the
mean,
people who know about Spider-Man are most people.
I think I get what you're saying, Daniel. I mean, I think because X-Men have been out of the media for so long because Fox owned them and they weren't able to legally like market them all the time.
right.
The success of X-Men 97, I think, has reminded the world of how special these characters are. And now
Hmm.
with times being so different and you know, I think a lot more people being able to relate with a lot of the characters in the X-Men, their popularity is definitely on the rise. And I think they can actually I think it's more accurate to say that they'll rival the Avengers in terms of popularity. Because for me personally, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
when the X Men are done right, I like them more than the Avengers as a team. But in terms of more popular than Spider Man, I don't know. They don't do Spider Man numbers.
Well, then in the
Yeah,
90s,
they
that
have they
kind of
have
was their era. The 90s were the X-Men era because you had the comic book push from artists like Jim Lee. You had
Yeah,
that animated series. There were talks of a film, and they were the name before the event. They were the team, Marvel team before the Avengers. Um,
there was a
I
film.
think. Oh yeah, Generation X, Gener Generation X. Um, yeah, but like I think once they do make their debut in the MCU, it is gonna be the new Avengers pretty much.
bigger.
In terms of it.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
probably yeah,
bigger.
bigger. Because they're gonna have the costumes, they're gonna hopefully have a good cast, they're gonna hopefully have a great script, great director.
Yeah,
Like it's all
they're
set up
just
for them.
there's just too many good characters on the X Men. All of them can lead a
Yeah,
movie. That's how insane they are. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'll take Cyclops over most of the Avengers. I like
yeah,
Cyclops more than Iron Man. I like Cyclops like as equally as Captain America. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's my
I
boy.
almost got you.
All right, all right. Revokes this fool's citizenship.
Cyclops or Hulk.
Return his papers.
Send him back to Mexico.
Deport all.
Deport all of them.
All those
Exactly,
mutants.
exactly.
Those
All
mutants.
those
We need a
mutants.
wall.
Muties.
Isn't that funny?
Mutants.
I keep seeing those reels where they show like, the Avengers saving everyone and they're like, "Oh wow, your powers and you're saving everyone. That's so cool." And then the mutants save someone and they're like, "Oh, thank you. That's cool. Like how'd you get your powers?" "Oh, I was born with the powers." "Oh, you know what? Screw you." Like and then like, they only hate the mutants because they were born with powers. But they love the Avengers because of, I don't know, they're freaks, I guess,
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The X-Men kind of I want to see them in the larger MCU context, but in some ways they only work in their own world because of
Right.
how big the threats are. Like the Sentinels, like Spider-Man, where the fuck are you for that? So, Cap, why can't you help that? I mean, 97 kind of addresses that a bit because there is a political element to why those other heroes can't. But it's like there are such fine lines between what's like a mutant problem and a superhero problem sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think maybe they'll go over that in the MCU. You know, they'll look at the X Men and they'll be like, "Well, wait a minute, is Spider Man a mutant. Like I think
Mhm.
they'll go through those issues and they'll talk about the distinction or what society thinks
They'll
is the
have to.
distinction, you know? Yeah, and I think it's important for them to do that too, because then it's like, well, wait a minute, you know, why are we treating mutants this way? They're all heroes. So,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah,
I think they'll add that for sure.
I hope
Mm.
so because like it could also be an element of like we're a world that's so used to superheroes existing one way, but now they're
Yeah.
being born with these powers. It's like, oh shit, now we need some camps, bruh. Now we need some.
Yeah. That's when Bastion comes in.
Oh shit.
That
All
was
right, we got less than
crazy.
1 minute. Uh, here